Conditions apply.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with John Legend to find out some of the artists that influenced his music.
Well, I'm always inspired by the classics, and there's certain artists that have made me who I am and influenced me. Stevie Wonder is certainly one of them. You could go through his catalog, but a lot of my favorites are his stuff from the late 60s and early 70s. Marvin Gaye has certainly been hugely influential. So many great songs and albums from him helped me become who I am as an artist.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from your favorite artists.
Number one on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WINCA in Miami, WMIB FM HD2 Fort Lauderdale. Free never sounded so good. We are Fox Sports. Here's what you need to know on Fox Sports 940 Miami.
For the seventh time this season, in the ninth inning or later, the Marlins snatched victory away from the jaws of defeat yesterday to salvage one game out of three in Boston. Tonight, they've returned home to begin a 9-game homestand with the first of a 3-game series opening with St. Louis. Yuri Perez set to take the hill for the Fish. Coverage here on Fox Sports 940 Miami begins at 6. NFL preseason week 2 comes to a close tonight when Washington hosts Cincinnati. Meantime, a 4-time Pro Bowl cornerback Xavier Howard, who hasn't played a game since being released from the Dolphins at the end of 2023, has signed a 1-year deal today with the Colts, who meet the Finns in Week 1 on September 7th. Work began today in Tallahassee to install a new field inside Doak Campbell Stadium, which is expected to be ready for FSU's August 30th season opener at home against Alabama. And with the 15th-ranked Gators back at practice today after Saturday's second and final scrimmage, the school announced they've sold out season tickets for a second year in a row. And less than a week before the start of the U.S. Open in New York, the top warm-up event closes tonight with the Cincinnati Open women's final between Iga Swiatek and Jasmine Paolini. I'm Eric Rodriguez, Fox Sports 940 Miami.
From Fox Sports 940, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
1-1. He might have hit one out of the ballpark there. Out to right and deep. Second deck. He squared the bunt 2 pitches ago. And Kyle Stowers rips number 16 into the seats. Tied at 1, bottom 2.
Miami Marlins baseball is on deck.
Pitch to Connor Norby. He drills out to right center and deep. Frelick back. Track wall. It is gone. Connor Norby. He's getting right. 1-1 pitch. That one hammered out to left center field and deep. Martian Rojas back. They're looking up, and it's gone. Wag attack. A 2-run homer.
Marlins on deck. Brought to you by ADT, the official smart security partner of the Miami Marlins, and Norwegian Cruise Line. Experience more at sea. Let's head out to the ballpark. Here's your host, Steven Strong.
Oh, my goodness. Nice job, Ahmed. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank the heavens, we're home, live from Lone Depot Park in Miami on a 90-degree day outside. We are inside the broadcast booth with the comfortable air conditioning. You are listening to Miami Marlins baseball on the radio, Fox Sports 940 Miami. Game 125 of 162, and there is no place like home. And the Marlins can unpack, kick back, and relax for the next 10 days as the Fish open up a 9-game homestand. The Marlins and the Cardinals met about 3 weeks ago in St. Louis, and Miami snatched 2 out of 3 on their turf. Now the Fish welcome in the Redbirds for 3 on this Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday night. But tonight it's game 1 of a 3-game set between the 61 and 64 St. Louis Cardinals and your now 59 and 65 Miami Marlins. Matthew Liberatore, the second southpaw the Marlins will face in a row. He'll make his 23rd start of the season. Yuri Perez will toe the rubber. For Clayton McCullough's crew, he will make his 13th start of the season and Yuri's second career start against the Redbirds. We will get going at 6:40 right here on the Marlins Radio Network. Hi, everyone. Thanks for making Marlins on Deck part of your Monday night with Jack McMullen and Kelly Sacco. I'm Steven Strom. We got a sensational show for you. We got to hurry. It's a Power Pack broadcast, and we thank you for your participation. We'll talk about where both teams are at here on this Monday night. Jack and Clayton will preview Game 1. We'll hear some sound from Maximo Acosta, who will make his Marlins and Major League debut tonight. We will get you out of the count with Liberatore and Perez. Jack and Kelly will jump in for some headlines, Expo question today at Marlins Radio, and Steve's guarantee to victory. I always like to be pacey with these shows, but I have to be ultra pacey if we want to get to everything that I have in store tonight. We'll start where both teams are at, and it's the St. Louis Cardinals, who are losers of 5 in a row. And it's funny, I mentioned these two teams met a couple of weeks ago, July 28th. The Cardinals at the time were 2 games over, and they were in the middle of either selling or buying. Well, after Miami took 2 out of 3, the decision was easy. St. Louis ended up dealing Ryan Helsley, Steven Matz, Phil Maton, and since that, the Redbirds are 6-9. Big part, injuries. They were just swept by the Yankees at home, but Victor Scott, he sprained his ankle trying to rob Aaron Judge's home run on Saturday. Their all-star Brendan Donovan is out now with a left foot and groin soreness. This is a shorthanded squad, just like the Marlins. Speaking of the Marlins, they're 6 games under, 7 games back of a wild card spot with 38 games to play. They return after a 3-city 11-game road trip. It was difficult and it was disappointing, but it ended on an incredible high yesterday. Dane Myers tied the bad boy up in the 9th inning, and Jacob Marcy came off the bench, the rookie sensation, and against a southpaw, hit a moonshot to right field at Fenway Park to give the Marlins a lead. It was a highway robbery type of steal for the Marlins, who escaped Boston, salvaging the game on Sunday. Now, the headline of the road trip was unfortunately a negative one. All-star Kyle Stowers was put on the 10-day IL with a left side sprain. And next man up doesn't really apply in this case when you're an all-star with 25 home runs and an over 900 OPS. But today there is exciting news. It's kind of been a roller coaster of emotions in this opening segment. But the exciting news tonight is another one of Peter Bendick's acquisition is going to make their debut. Maximo Acosta, 22-year-old infielder who the Marlins acquired for Jake Berger back in December. 2 other prospects came from Texas, but it's going to be Acosta who will make his debut. And the option, the move, the roster decision was Graham Pauley, who was unfortunately placed on the 10-day IL today with a right oblique strain. But here was Maximo Acosta, 22-year-old right-hander. Earlier today, his emotions and reactions translated by the great Louis Durante.
The excitement was overwhelming, right? We tear up talking about it. This, like I said, this has been a dream since I was a little kid for all my family. So a lot of excitement for this moment. First of all, I want to thank God, for the opportunity. And to be honest, like I said, mixed feelings, because this is an achievement, right? Since I was a little kid, I've been thinking about this moment. And also it's difficult because, my dad passed a couple months ago, and I know this was a dream for him, that I was going to make an MLB debut.
Maximo's wife and his son is going to be in attendance tonight, and he is going to be thrown right into the fire. Clayton McCullough has Maximo Acosta batting 8th tonight and playing second base. Couple of nuggets, and I'm sure Jack and Kelly will dive deeper into what Maximo Acosta is expected to bring to the table for the Marlins. Again, traded to Miami over the offseason, December 11th, for Jake Berger, Acheteri Vargas, and Brian Mendoza from Texas. 106 games for Max Acosta, primarily playing at shortstop. 232, 12 home runs, 49 RBIs, a 695 OPS. 2 things to look out for with Acosta. The strikeout rate is high, 113 punch-outs. That's a 26% strikeout rate. And he's shown the ability to walk about a 10% walk rate. League average here up in the show is around 8. So you get the good and the bad from the plate discipline for Maximo Acosta. We did see him in spring training. He went 3 for 11 with a home run. The one thing about the Marlins this year that they have just been incredible at, calling guys up from AAA and having these dudes produce. Heriberto Hernandez, Augustin Ramirez, Jacob Marcy. A lot of pressure, Maximo Acosta, because those guys have come into this situation and have flourished offensively and defensively as well. We will break here. Jack and Clayton will talk Maximo. They will also talk Yuri Perez. The key to getting back on track here at home, and it is so great to be back here at Lone Depot Park. Marlins on Deck continues. That is up next on the Marlins Radio Network.
New York last week. He got the win and the payoff pitch. X hits one high in the air and deep. Out to right. There's no doubt about this one. Homer number 2 on the year for X-Man, and Xavier Edwards did not miss a stitch. Who knew he had this in him? 104 off the bat, 402 feet out to right field, and a leadoff homer for power threat Edwards. Open scoring right away. Stowers at third, Otto at second. 2-2 to Jacob. On the way. And Marcy drills a ball out to right and deep. A line shot. Nearly gets to the concourse and gone. Out to right. He got a hanging sweeper and he did not miss it. Second homer of his career. Second homer against Gavin Williams in the first. And the Fish are pouring it on. 2-2. That one drilled again out to right and deep. That thing is gone. Marcy looks over to the first base dugout, pumps his fist, and now points towards the bullpen. Jacob Marcy 3 for 3 with a pair of homers and tied no more. Gabby made a sign. 2-1. That one hit high in the air out to right center field, pretty deep. Schneemann is back at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. Graham Pauley, he's heating up with the power stroke. His 4th homer on the year and his 3rd homer of the week. Graham Pauley gives the Fish some breathing room with a solo blast. It's 7-4 Marlins in the top of the 6th. In every clubhouse. Now, 1-0 pitch. That one lined into center field. That is in for a base hit. X can practically walk home from third base. Kyle Stowers gets right. His first hit of the night.
Other exclusions may apply.
Back here at Lone Depot Park in beautiful Miami, Florida. It's game 1 of this 3-game set between the Marlins and the Cardinals. It's game 1 of a 9-game homestand for Miami after a 3-city 11-game road trip for the Fish. Back here with Yuri Perez and Matthew Liberatore on the hill tonight. Steven Strom, hello everyone. Listen to your Marlins on the go. Download the iHeartRadio app and make Fox Sports 940 your top preset to listen to every Marlins game this season. Jack McMullen caught up with the Marlins skipper Clayton McCullough on Maximo Acosta, life without Kyle Stowers, and being back in the 305.
All right, thank you very much, Steven. You're with the skipper of the Fish, Clayton McCullough. Did you remember what your bed in Florida felt like after that 10-day, 11-day, 12-day road trip?
Yeah, I almost forgot my parking spot back at my place. I think I might have drove by and had to reverse and get in it. But yeah, it's good to be home. It was a long road trip, and we're all excited to be back here in Miami in the comforts of Lone Depot.
We're here for a week and a half, which is awesome. I want to start with the kid, Jacob Marcy. It was an amazing go-ahead homer in the top of the 9th inning yesterday at Fenway Park. Left on left. It was a pitch off the inside part of the plate. What have you seen from this guy in literally every situation he could possibly be put in?
Yeah, I mean, it's not crazy. It's not even like surprising anymore. I mean, it's just every moment he's been in, whether it's his major league debut in the environment we had in Carlos Rodon to pinch hitting, coming off the bench yesterday and getting a couple hits and putting us ahead with a big home run. He has just been incredibly consistent with the type of at-bats he's taken, his focus on the bases defensively. So it's been so encouraging. I don't think we could expect that from any young player coming up to make this type of a mark like he has. But the way in which he's done it gives you a lot of confidence that, even through a downturn where maybe some of the balls you're hitting aren't falling, that there's still going to be a lot of production out of him with what he can do defensively on the bases and just conduct at bats.
I was looking into this. I think in games he's started so far in his career, he's gone 0 for 4 times, and he's responded in at least 3 of those 4 with multiple hits and a homer in 3 of those 4 as well. I am curious, and I know you talked about it a little bit during your media availability just moments ago, but did this guy effectively play his way into everyday at-bats at this point? Because I know with a lot of young guys that you've managed so far this year, it's not a sheltering effect, but it's, hey, if they're left-handed, they're probably not going to see very many left-handed starters. Has Marcy kind of superseded that at this point?
I think we'd love to give Marcy the opportunity to face some left. And the way the roster is constructed now, we have some right-handed hitters that feel very good against left. So, they deserve opportunity as well. Trying to put out the best lineup going into the game, feel like gives us a chance to win, or moments in the game to use guys off the bench. While also, recognizing with a young player like Jacob that giving him some opportunity to start versus left, to stay in game and hit versus left-handed relievers, is valuable for us to continue evaluating, really what we have in Jacob, and we'd love to, be able to, have a clearer picture and idea of what that is moving through the rest of this year and into 26.
Clayton, a couple of guys unfortunately went down with oblique issues. Kyle Stowers over the weekend, and then Graham Pauley. We just learned about that today. That in turn opens up at bats for Maximo Acosta, who comes up and he's going to make his major league debut. What excites you about what you can see from Maximo over the next week and a half?
I mean, he was a ball of energy during spring training. Big smile on his face. Very respectful of the environment. Very hardworking, open-minded, and he played extremely well defensively and put together some good string of at-bats. So I think we'll expect him to get another quality defender, which is important for us here, and hope that Max right now just goes out there and just go try to swing at really good pitches, and enjoy it. And you only have one major league debut, and so tonight we'll be excited to watch Max do it. And as we move forward, I see someone that has ability to impact on the bases defensively, and we believe someone that can control the zone with emerging impact as well.
You talked with Steven Strom ahead of Yuri's last start in Cleveland about what the next pitch could be for Yuri to come along, and it was the slider, and we saw a lot of breaking stuff for Yuri in Cleveland. What jumped out to you about that start in Cleveland for him as he kind of got away from that overwhelming four-seam use?
I think checking the velo on the slider, I think it's him continuing not to feel for it, trying to place it in the strike zone, but to trust the grip, trust the arm action, and the fastball we talk about a lot, but having that slider to be in the upper 80s when it's like 86 to 88 range, it's a really good pitch for him and something that's going to continue to be valuable versus left and right. And so I think I'll continue to praise Yuri and Sandy both for their willingness to be open to adding to their arsenal, using their pitch mixes differently, how that might be advantageous against a certain lineup or certain hitters. And so we believe it's going to bode well for them both, and Yuri in particular, as he just continues to mature as a pitcher.
Clayton McCullough, really appreciate it. Best of luck.
Okay, thanks, Jack.
All right, Steven.
All right, good stuff there. I want to go over a couple of things. Jack and Clayton talked about the different usage for Yuri Perez, who dominates with that four-seam fastball, has that incredible vert, 99, 100 miles per hour fastball. Against Cleveland in his last start, used it. It was still the primary pitch for him at 38% of the time. Threw it 35 out of 91 times, but that slider is that secondary pitch that they're talking about that just needs to continue to get better. He threw it 24 times out of 91. Look for Yuri tonight to have a similar build, similar feel against his Cardinals lineup, and then Jacob Marcy against left. This dude is 3 for 9, very small sample size, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, but again, the big number with Marcy is the walks. He drew 3 walks against lefties and is in the lineup tonight against a lefty in Matthew Liberatore. You'll find Marcy hitting third and playing left field. We'll break. We will talk about Liberatore and Yuri Perez. We'll dive deeper into the matchup on the mound. We'll play at 6:40, game 1 of this 3-game set. It's the Marlins. It's the Redbirds on the Cardinals, or the Marlins radio network.
33% of the way there.
That's Hall of Famer.
Hit 333. 1-0 pitch. That one looped into shallow left field. Profar coming on. He won't get there. That drops in for a base hit. Hicks going to come in and score. Otto pushes to third. And Jacob Marcy drives in his 4th run at the major league level. This guy's 8 for 17 to open his big league career. And an RBI knock gets the fish on the board. They trail 2-1 at the top of the second. In the lead. 1-2. That one hit in the air, out to right center. That's deep, that's carrying well. Harris is back at the track. He leaps up, he opens the bullpen door, and that's off the wall. It caroms back into center. Wagaman pushes to third, and 2 runs come in to score. A 2-run triple for Wag Attack. Braves of yesteryear.
No.
3-2. That one hit well, out to right and deep, down the line. White on the move, he's looking up, and it's gone! Into the chop house, Graham Pauley. Back-to-back days with a homer. He's got 3 now as a Marlin, and this is a 5-run second. 2-run blast. 5-2 fish.
You needed some more production, and then you turned it into guys who are going to be now producing when you need them to.
1-0 pitch. Augustine lines into right field. That's in on a hop for a base hit. X rounding third. He's coming home. White's throw going to the plate. A little bit offline and just a touch late. And X comes in to score, standing up from second. With 2 men gone, it's an RBI single for Augustine Ramirez, and the Marlins on the board again. It's 6-2 in the top of the 4th.
Trying to win it all again. Posada, slow roller right side. Beckett picks it up, tags Posada, and the Florida Marlins are world champions.
Stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Hey, this is Derek Hill, and you're listening to Marlins On Deck with Steven Strom on the Marlins Radio Network.
Well, you'll see Derek Hill tonight, or you'll hear him over the radio. He'll bat 9th and play center field. What a win it was for Miami. Stole one in Boston. Dane Myers ties it up in the 9th. Jacob Marcy, 2-run home run. What else can this kid not do? Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, and Kelly Sacco. They will join me actually in the next segment. We'll play at 6:40. Let's get you ahead of the count, though. We'll start with Matthew Liberatore, who will toss for St. Louis, 25-year-old southpaw. Former first-round pick in 2018 of the Tampa Bay Rays. He was dealt to St. Louis in 2020. This is season 4 for Matthew Liberatore. Bullpen guy, swing man. Now he's a starter. On Tuesday in Colorado, went 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 punch-outs, and 1 walk. He's 6-10 on the year with a 4.08 ERA. 117 innings. Again, 22 starts. Been an up-and-down year for Liberatore. This guy had a 2.73 ERA on May 24th. But since that, in the last 12 starts, 3-7 with a 5.46 ERA. His arsenal will feature a 4-seamer, a slider, a curveball, a changeup, a cutter, and a sinker. The thing about Liberatore to look out for today, he has not gone deep into games. Since the start of July, he hasn't recorded an out past the 5th inning. Career-wise against Miami, 4 appearances, 2 starts, 6 combined frames, 8 runs. He faced them in 2023 and 2024. Liberatore will go opposite Yuri Perez, 22-year-old right-hander who will make his 13th start of the season. He's 5-3 with a 3.58 ERA, 16 1/3 innings pitched, 12 starts. He earned the win on Wednesday. We mentioned that in Cleveland. 4 runs on 3 hits, 8 punch-outs over 5 walks. He used his arsenal a little bit differently this time around against Cleveland. That 4-seamer still threw it at 38% of the time, but that slider, 26% of the time. Threw it a ton against lefties. Threw it 19 times against left-handed bats. We'll see if it's a similar mix for Yuri this afternoon, or tonight rather, against the St. Louis Cardinals. It'll be a second career start against the Redbirds. He started against them in 2023 back on July 6th, went 6 innings of 1-run ball, giving up just 3 hits. Matthew Liberatore, the second southpaw that the Marlins will face. Yesterday, Garrett Crochet. With all due respect, Matthew Liberatore, he ain't Garrett Crochet. So taking a little step back against the southpaw, he will go opposite Yuri Perez here tonight at 6:40. We'll break. We'll get Kelly and Jack on next. Got some storylines, some headlines to discuss with them. We're playing 20 minutes on the Marlins Radio Network.
82 gone, and the 3-1 pitch. Augustine cranks out to left and deep. He didn't miss a stitch of it. Solo blast for Augustine. 1 second you feel safe, and the next, something goes wrong. But with ADT's 24/7 professional monitoring, you still do. When every second counts, count on ADT. Visit ADT.com/Marlins or call 800-750-0647 today. For license information, visit ADT.com. Men gone, and the 3-1 pitch. Augustine cranks out to left and deep. He didn't miss a stitch of it. Solo blast for Augustine, number 16 on the year. He got 98 over the heart of the plate and 112 on the way out.
All right, here's the 1-2. I got a question for you guys. That's ripped left center field and deep. Grisham going back. It's going. It's gone. Goodbye. Agustin Ramirez has hit his second home run of the game in as many at-bats against his former organization, the Yankees. 2 solo shots. Have the Marlins up 2-0.
Why do these wins feel a little bit different against this team in front of this crowd?
I think it's just the atmosphere, for sure. Fans are making it feel like they're really special games, and I mean, we're playing good teams. These are the wins you need to you need to get if you want to be one of those really good teams, and we feel like we are.
We saw 25 runs total yesterday between these two teams.
Taxinity.com. Requiere facturación electrónica y pago automático con cuenta bancaria registrada. Aplican restricciones. Equipo, impuestos y tarifas son adicionales. Después de la promo aplican tarifas regulares. Ahorros comparados a Verizon 5G Internet más una línea Unlimited Welcome y AT&T Internet 300 más una línea Unlimited Starter SL. Requiere Xfinity Internet. Velocidades reales varían. Velocidades se reducen después del uso de 30 gigabits por línea. Los límites de datos y los ahorros reales varían.
Well, if there's any such thing as momentum carrying into Sunday to Monday, I guess we'll find out if that exists here tonight. Matthew Liberatore will go opposite Yuri Perez. Hello, everyone. Welcome into Marlins on Deck. Stephen Strom, Jack McMullen, Kelly Sacco. Those two join me now. Kelly loves the camera, and they love to do peace signs before we break. But we're not going to break anytime soon.
I almost accidentally did a peace sign. I'm all turned around.
All right. We had I felt like we went through a glass case of emotions these last couple of days. How about just the road trip? Dane Myers, he struggled. He hits the home run. Kyle Stowers to the IL. Graham Pauley now to the IL. But Jacob Marcy comes on and hits this big 2-run home run. Now we have another debut. Maximo Acosta will make his major league debut for the Marlins, who was dealt from Texas last December. Jack, defensively, this dude is a standout cat. His range is excellent. He's capable of making all the necessary plays at shortstop.
Yeah.
He's going to play second base. The big question to him is the bat. How can the bat translate to this level?
It's a good question. I feel like it's probably walking like that. That's the way that it can translate best and most seamless. This guy over the course of this entire season, you know, the OPS is not awesome. He has hit 12 homers, but it feels like he's not getting into the slug as much as you would want. Batting average is pretty low in AAA, but what he does do is walk. We were talking about it before we took the air. Major league average walk rate about 8.5%. He's walking 10.5% in AAA right now. So that tells you that he's got good discipline within and without of the strike zone. It's very similar to Marcy, right? Marcy came up. This guy was a walk machine. You feel like this guy can wait out for his best pitch. And here's to hoping he can do that in his first game.
And he will start at second base again, and he will bat in the eight hole.
Eight hole. Yeah.
8 hole. I couldn't find him for a second. Okay, Kelly, Yuri Perez tonight. He started last week, and Wednesday it was a different mix. We saw the fastball be the leader, but the slider was second in that arsenal. What did the learning moments look like for Yuri in his last start against Cleveland? Wasn't happy, but Marlins still won 13-4.
There were several of them. So I've got my handy dandy scorebook right here.
So
we're going to go through them. All right.
Awesome.
So he started out the game. He gave up that leadoff home run to Kwan, right? Turned around, retired the next 11 batters. So you love to see that. You love that he was not rattled by the home run, turned around. It was just cruising. Gets to the fourth inning, gets 2 outs quickly, gets ahead of Maserado, hits him. All right. Kafis comes up, gets ahead of him, 2 strikes. Leadoff allows a single.
Sure.
All right. Then we got Arias. Gets ahead of him. Allows a home run, the 3-run home run.
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
Okay. So
Not
a
sure if
theme
that
there,
ball landed.
right? Exactly. There's a theme there. Okay. So in speaking to Daniel Moscas, he said there are several things he wants him to take away. Number 1, he let off the gas a little bit. That was a game where he really had a lot of great stuff.
He did mention that post-game he lost focus.
He lost focus, yes. And there were several different ways he lost focus. One, he let up. He was cruising there. Retired 11 guys, was able, solo home run. That's not going to hurt anyone, especially super early in the game. Let off the pedal, right? Would get ahead of guys, wouldn't put them away. So that's one thing that Daniel Mosca says, hey, listen, you're not done until you are in that dugout.
Yep. Yeah.
You're out on that field. You need to finish off hitters. So that's number 1. Number 2, I don't know if you guys remember this, but the Cleveland dugout was chirping at him for a little bit, saying that he balked. And Yuri said that really got to him. He got a little rattled.
Okay.
He got a little rattled. So that was another thing that he said, hey, listen, you got to learn how to block those things out. But in speaking to Daniel Moscas, he said an outing like that one for Yuri was a good reminder for Daniel Moscas about how young he is. Yuri's just 22 years old, and we forget that sometimes. He started and he debuted so young. He carries himself with a lot of maturity. He has found so much success so early that sometimes you forget he's 22 years old, and there's still a lot of learning moments. There's still some maturity that needs to come with him. even for as mature as he is now. So again, a couple learning moments. He said he's good with everything else, just wants him to remember those things and take him into his starts moving forward.
It's a great point because we do look at Yuri like he's a 10-year vet, and he's 22 years old, and because of the mannerisms that you see, because he's followed Sandy Alcantara every step of the way, he comes off as that, and you're right, there's going to be moments where maybe the immaturity, and I don't even want to say immaturity, but the youth shows.
Absolutely.
And it was interesting because he did say that he lost focus. I did not know it was because of the Cleveland dugout. I'll make sure St. Louis is doing nothing. I'll yell at them. Yuri will go opposite Matthew Liberatore. These two have your call in 12 minutes. We'll break. We'll get our Expo question, Steve's Guarantee, on the Marlins Radio Network.
33% of the way there.
That's Hall of Famer.
Hit 333. 1-0 pitch. That one looped into shallow left field. Profar coming on. He won't get there. That drops in for a base hit. Hicks going to come in and score. Otto pushes to third. And Jacob Marcy drives in his 4th run at the major league level. This guy's 8 for 17 to open his big league career. And an RBI knock gets the Fish on the board. They trail 2-1 at the top of the second. In the lead. 1-2. That one hit in the air, out to right center. That's deep. That's carrying well. Harris is back at the track. He leaps up. He opens the bullpen door, and that's off the wall. It caroms back into center. Wagaman pushes to third, and 2 runs come in to score. A 2-run triple for Wag Attack. Braves of yesteryear.
No.
3-2. That one hit well, out to right and deep, down the line. White on the move. He's looking up, and it's gone. Into the chop house, Graham Pauley. Back-to-back days with a homer. He's got 3 now as a Marlin, and this is a 5-run second. 2-run blast. 5-2 Fish.
You needed some more production, and then you turned it into guys who are going to be now producing when you need them to.
1-0 pitch. Augustine lines into right field. That's in on a hop for a base hit. X rounding third. He's coming home. White's throw going to the plate. A little bit offline and just a touch late. And X comes in to score, standing up from second. With 2 men gone, it's an RBI single for Augustine Ramirez, and the Marlins on the board again. It's 6-2 in the top of the 4th.
Trying to win it all again. Posada, slow roller right side. Beckett picks it up, tags Posada, and the Florida Marlins are world champions. The Marlins have stunned the Yankees.
Good Greek, moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
All right, we can see the finish line in the distance. 10 minutes away from first pitch. Matthew Liberatore will go opposite Yuri Perez. Hello, everyone. Welcome into Marlins on Deck on this Monday night from Lone Depot Park. Big thanks to Maximo Acosta for joining the program. Jack and Clayton, per usual, in segment 2. And, of course, Kelly and Jack for jumping in segment 4. Our Expo question today at Marlins Radio. Folks, I call this one a layup. Maximo Acosta is from Venezuela. Who has the most home runs in Major League Baseball? Don't answer, Kelly. Don't look at me like that. From a Venezuelan-born player. Layup, played for the Marlins. Make sure to vote at Marlins Radio. 511 home runs career-wise. It is time for Steve's Guarantee.
Batter up. Batter up.
Let's play some ball.
First pitch is moments away. Time now for Steve's Guarantees.
I'm going to give you one take before I get to my guarantee. I think a big thing to look out for the remainder of the season, 38 games left, no Kyle Stowers. What does the offensive identity look like? Is it going to change? Are we still going to have 2 out RBIs? Are we still going to work the count? Are we still going to draw walks? I'm interested to see how the identity either sticks or evolves. One thing that needs to stay the same is getting the starting pitcher out of the game. Since the start of July, Matthew Liberatore hasn't recorded an out past the 5th inning. I think Miami gets to Libby, and I think they get him out of the game by the 5th inning. Get into that bullpen. St. Louis has a 4.31 ERA since the deadline. No Helsley, no Matz, no Maton. Get to that bullpen. Get Liberatore out of the game. Liberatore goes less than 5 innings tonight. Folks, I hope you got the itch for first pitch, because when we come back, Jack McMullen paints a picture. Kelly Sacco, she is ready to rock. Starting laps in first pitch is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to the Marlins On Deck pregame show. I'm Steven Strom. Let's flip the M together, Miami. Marlins baseball. It is next on the Marlins Radio Network.